Hello, welcome to Board Games with Niramas. I'm Joseph and I'm here today with Draco, of course. It's time for another one of these monthly updates. And I'm sitting here on the side because I'm going to put some stuff up here when we start talking about games that I filmed and games that I played and stuff that happened on the channel and what's coming in the future as well. We're going to talk a bit about Essen Spiel coming here in 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks away. And also what's going to happen in November, basically, besides Essen Spiel, because of course other stuff are coming on the channel as well. So let's start off with what we've been filming since we last talked to each other like this. So we did the King Domino with the Age of Giants expansion that is new. King Domino's been out for like 2 years, I think. I think this is a really good gateway style game. This is one that I often pull out when there's new players at the table, and maybe they haven't played any board games at all. King Domino is a good one to pull out because it's so easy to learn, quick and easy to play. Then we also started filming DragonFire, so we have done 2 solo playthroughs of DragonFire. There's a third one coming here soon as well. It's already recorded. And DragonFire for me I was really excited at the first, and Draco was really excited, of course. Really liked DragonFire at first. Then I played it a bit and I don't really like it anymore. Well, it's not like I dislike it, but I like the mechanics in the game, how to play it. But I think I don't like, for me it gets too disconnected when it's all about just like, yeah, I level up, I get new items, I go to another dungeon, but it's all in my mind. On the table it's just these cards. It doesn't really work out for me. I have the same feeling a bit when I started playing Gloomhaven, actually, like, well, we have this map, but we're just, it's just, we have a road event that happens on the way to the dungeon, but it's just in my mind. I prefer board games. I love board games where I actually see the progression on the board. I actually do the movement and all that. But I do like card games as well. I like deck building. That's the thing I like about DragonFire. It's the deck building part and the hand management. But I didn't like the fact also that you, at the start of your turn, like if you do an assist, and if I help out Draco, then I lose a card. And so when it comes back to my turn, I might just have like 2 cards to play on my turn. And this whole, you just draw 2 at the end of your turn if you have 3 or less, which means you never build up a big hand. I don't know. There's other deck builders that I think are more fun, actually, even though I really like the theme of DragonFire. I wanted to like it, and I might get back to it again. But there's one more playthrough coming where I try once again to manage, and it was so hard as well. Maybe that turned me off as well because it's so hard. I like a hard solo game, sure. I don't know. I haven't tried though with playing with 4 characters. I just play with 2. Some people say it gets a lot better when you have 4. So I will try that out as well before I sort of give up on it. And there's of course expansions for it. Maybe that makes it more feel like a campaign thematically that I get involved in. Otherwise I would say, I would recommend Hero Realms a lot more for a solo campaign where you get involved in the campaign and the theme. And it's a deck building game, and I love everything about Hero Realms. Anyway, enough of that. Check it out. A lot of people like DragonFire, so maybe it's just me. Then, of course, we had the 2000 subs giveaway. We hit 2000 subs. We're actually up like 2,300 now or something like that, which is awesome. It's just so much fun. And the giveaway was really fun. A lot of people got involved. I really enjoyed getting these messages on Facebook, because I asked you guys to not just send me your YouTube name just to like verify that you're a subscriber, but also to tell me what your favorite video on the channel was. And that was really fun to see the answers. A lot of you, I think like half, said Terraforming Mars playthroughs. And that's a given. That's like 50 videos or something on my channel is about Terraforming Mars, so of course it's not a bad thing. But it was, I think the most fun was those that sort of had a favorite video that was like maybe it was a bit older, and it was one that I didn't really like I didn't feel like that was my best video, and then you said, well, this is my favorite. That just made me happy. And also my little site got some love there as well. Some people told me about how they got their children to play the game because they watched me and Draco play it, and that just makes me so happy. That's the goal of the whole channel, of course. That's just so fun when it can inspire people to try out games or learn you how to play a game so you can enjoy it. So that was fun. We'll get back to that again when we hit 3,000 in the future. And of course around Christmas as well, Draco will probably get his Santa stuff on as well, and then he will do a Christmas giveaway as well, maybe promos and so on. So then we also did a run through for Euphoria. This is a game that it's one of the sort of older, it's not old, but I mean it's like, what is it, like 6-7 years old, from Stonemaier Games. It's one of those that I sort of missed. I never played this before, and then Stonemaier Games sent it to me, and I was really happy because I've been wanting to try it out, and I think the theme is really cool. It's like a dystopia, a future dystopia that you live in, and you're trying to improve it in some ways, trying to sort of get ahead for your faction or your factions depending on who you're allied with. Really interesting stuff. Check out Euphoria if you haven't. Then we had started doing some Essen stuff, so me and Martin sat down to do a pre-Essen vlog. That was fun. I share my top 5 expectations for Essen, and Martin shares his top 5 tips since he's been there a few times before. So especially if you're going to Essen, check out that video because Martin had some really good tips for you there. All the videos I'm talking about, by the way, will be down here in links in the description, so you can find them easily. Some of them will come up here as well, but I can just put like 5 there. So okay, and then we had also continuing on the Essen, I did both top 10 games I anticipate at Essen Spiel and top 10 expansions. So 2 different videos and a lot of good stuff in there. I'm so excited to go there. It's going to be awesome, and I'm excited for these games and expansions as well. So check those out. And then I also got started cooperating with 3D Simo, who makes 3D pens. So I got some pens from them, and I did some videos about doing terraforming Mars tiles in 3D. Like I'm working now on the volcano, so that we can have the volcano out in 3D with lava flowing down and all that. I'm gonna paint it and so on. And the pens are really cool. You can, I mean, it's just for me, it's just amazing that I can create something out of nothing, basically. I mean, just how it feels like I'm sitting there, and what I do is I listen to some music or some audiobook. It's kind of like when I do figure painting, and I'm just in my own world, just working with it, and after like an hour I just look up and I'm like, yeah, I'm here, and oh, wow, I created this stuff. It's just so much fun, and I can really recommend it, especially if you're into like miniature gaming or like that kind of stuff where you do a lot of like terrain and all that. That's just awesome to have that 3D Simo Mini 2 that you can draw in 3D, but you can also like melt the plastic. You can shape it and form it as you want. Really cool stuff. And also in the next one, I'm going to continue the series. So in the next one, I'm going to start showing you these terraform Mars tiles even more, because I think that's really cool. You can do some really amazing stuff with this. I mean, I'm not that good at working with my hands like that. I'm not an artist in any way. I prefer talking before. I prefer talking instead of drawing and all that stuff. But really fun stuff. And if you are talented, if you can handle this, if you're good at like painting and drawing and so on, perfect for you. So I can really recommend it to basically anyone. Then also I did another one of these practical things. I made a dice tray in 5 minutes, or even less. So that's really fun. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, because that's a really good way to make a good dice tray. I really love this dice tray actually. I was at IKEA today and trying to find a smaller one. This is fairly huge. So it's an IKEA photo frame where I put some cloth in. Really easy stuff to do, really cheap as well. I couldn't find the smaller one that I like though, because it needs to have sort of high edges so the dice don't bounce off, but I'll keep looking for that. Then I did a run through with Draco of 5 Minute Chase. Kind of hard to do because it's a real-time game, but kind of fun little game. It takes 5 minutes basically, or 15 minutes, because you play like 3 times. And you chase one 2-player game, one chases the other, trying to escape from prison, and you're putting out tiles and you're trying to look at the tiles and identify certain markers on the tiles really fast in real time. So that's a fun one to check out as well. It's really short, like 8 minutes or something. And then Martin did his first run through. Martin did his first ever gameplay run through on his own, with Draco, of course, and I was sitting next to him out a bit with like camera and all that stuff. But it was fun to see how he handled that. I mean, it was fun in the way. I mean, first of all, I was happy for him because he had fun doing it, and he wanted to do that for quite a while, and now we got to do it. It was like a war game, 2GM Tactics, that I haven't played, but it's something he picked up at Essen last year. And it was also fun for me because I've been doing this for 2 years now, which is awesome. It's just been 2 years. And the thing is, when I started out, I really felt like so uncomfortable with the camera, with English. I mean, I'm a Swede, so speaking English is sometimes hard even now. I mean, sometimes I just feel like how I can't find the words sometimes that I need. I need to expand my English vocabulary, I think. But anyhow, it was fun to just see that, you know, I was laughing at him off camera because, you know, he was forgetting stuff and all that. I remember when I started out, I watched a lot of like Rado, and I thought like, why? How can he forget so much stuff? How can it be so hard? I mean, it's just playing the game. Then I realized when I started making videos, when you talk to the camera, to the viewers, and you're playing the game at the same time for 2 people, it's not that easy. I'm getting better at it, and I think most of the time now it works out. I don't make mistakes. If I do, I often find them when I do editing, and then I can go back and do some new photo shooting, or maybe I can put in like some text or something. Most of the time it's not a problem, but yeah, it's fun. And finally, I did some unboxings as well. So I did an unboxing of Endeavor, came from Kickstarter. Endeavor Age of Sail is the 2nd edition of Endeavor. And I played it now. Yeah, let's get into games I played then, because I played it, I just think it's so amazing. I played like 6 times a week with 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 players, and I had fun. All those player counts, I had so much fun. I think my favorite so far is the 2-player count, because I played with Martin, and what you do is you have this dummy player that is active. So after I do an action, I do the same action with the dummy player, but I'm the active player, so I get to choose what the dummy player, well, not what he does, he will copy me, but where he will go on the board. So I could do that to mess with Martin, to take away his opportunities, and the same goes for him, of course. So that's really cool in a 2-player game. It's a bit mean perhaps, but in a 2-player game I don't really mind that. It doesn't feel mean, because I mean, we're playing against each other. If you have 3 players, it could be 2 against 1, not really cool. But in a 2-player game, I think that works out well, and it's like, I don't mind conflict in the game if the conflict is that I take something before you can take it. If you know, like a worker placement game, if I can go to a spot and take the stuff that you need before you can get it. I mean, I like Agricola and Caverna at 2 players. But if the game lets me go and destroy the stuff that you already built, or like tear down your empire or kingdom or whatever, then I'm starting to get a bit more care bear. I don't like that stuff usually. It depends. I like some games, like Civilization the board game has some attacking in it, but you don't need to attack, you can win in other ways. So yeah, but anyhow, Endeavor Age of Sail, it's so good, I can really recommend it. And it's actually, by the time you're watching this, I already put out the run-through actually. And it's not a run-through, to be honest, it's the full playthrough. This was quite interesting, because I started out thinking I'll do 30 minutes. I mean, for me, I don't know if it's like, if there's an official I think run-through is basically Rado's. I think he started that using that word, because he runs through games instead of a walkthrough where you go slowly. So I just picked that up. I used the word run through because I think it describes well what I'm meaning by that. Is like 30 minutes, 20-30 minutes. I just explain the game in basic and how it feels and how it works. and I don't go into detail on everything, and I don't show the whole game. That's a run through for me. While a playthrough is something where I play through the actual whole game, and you can see the whole game. So with the Endeavor playthrough that's coming, or actually out already when you're watching this, it's coming tomorrow from where I'm recording this. There is a full 2-player playthrough with Draco. So me and Draco, we do a full 1 hour and like 50 minutes, I think, but I cut it down. I cut out a lot of thinking time, so we got down to like 1.5 hour, which is kind of fast for that game actually. That's a weird thing with Endeavor. It says on the game box 60 minutes, and that's just totally unrealistic. There's no way in any player count you can do that. I don't know how they thought about that. That must be a misprint. It's more like the double, 2 hours, like with 3 or 4 players. Anyhow, so check that out. The Endeavor full playthrough. You can see how it plays with the dummy player. We're also using the exploits, so the advanced mode of the game, which is the new stuff in Age of Sail that wasn't in the first edition. So yeah, that's really fun, and that's why it became a playthrough. It started out like, yeah, I'm gonna do 30 minutes, and then it was so much fun, so I just kept going until the end. And then sometimes I do that, and why not? I'm having fun, so. Alright, then I also played 878 Viking Invasion of England, 2-player game that I did an unboxing for a while ago, so I played that a few times now, and I think it's pretty fun. It's basically you roll some dice and hope that you hit, and then you kill the enemy soldiers, and you keep, yeah, it's a bit of a risk feeling in it, which I don't like. But then again, it's more tactics because you play cards as well, so but it was somehow, in some ways it was similar to Memoir 44, and I think Memoir 44 is a much better game because there you have these lines that you attack and then do stuff in. So yeah, but it was okay. Then I played 5 Minute Chase, DragonFire, as I said, Euphoria, Endeavor. I also played Isle of Skye Journeyman, the expansion to Isle of Skye that I picked up, and that was really fun. That was, I took Isle of Skye from this simple gateway-ish game, which is really fun in itself, the base game, I think. I really like this whole Carcassonne building, but you pay for the tiles. You're doing this sort of, you have to sell your tiles and all that. But in this one, with the Journeyman, you add a new track that you move your little Journeymans on, and you unlock new bonuses, and that really, wow, that really increased the complexity in trying to figure out how to move them on that track. But I liked it, so check that out if you can. I don't think I will do a run through for it because I already did a run through for Isle of Skye, and I'm not sure that I have the time to do for the Journeyman. But and finally, I did a full playthrough with Draco of Welcome to. Welcome to is a sort of like roll and write game, but it's instead of rolling, you have cards that you draw randomly, and then you write the actions on your little streets, because you're building like a suburb with streets and different numbers on the houses. And this one was actually also on my top 10 games I anticipate from Essen Spiel, because I didn't think it was going to be released in Sweden before Essen, but it was. So a lot of games had it, and I picked it up and played a few times. I think it's cool. I like this writing games. I think it's fun. It's just like, yeah, it's like a brain puzzle. It's that category of games has become really popular, and I can see why, because it's really cute, it's really fun, and it's fast-played games. So finally, in preparation for the next month here, well, basically it's a lot about Essen, of course. Going there with friends, and we're going to have a lot of fun, I think, playing games, hanging out, being at the fair and all. And I'm also going to get some interviews done. There's going to be some interviews and some demos of games and new expansions coming and all that. And I'm going to do some overall just shooting recordings, you know, the actual experience of being there, like how it looks, talking to people, designers, producers, all that. And that's going to be really interesting. And hopefully I meet some of you guys there as well in the crowd. I understand that it's not that likely because there's a lot of people there, but if you see us, come up and say hi. Don't be shy. Draco gets really happy to see his viewers. Yeah. And also, we're going to start the top 100 games of all time. Last year we did the top 50 games of all time around this time of year, and we ended it before Christmas with the top 10, and then I did it together with 2 friends, and I'll try to do something similar this year. We'll see who joins, if maybe Martin joins this year and so on. Finally, I want to do some shout-outs. So, first of all, I want to mention I have a few old friends that are really into Hearthstone, and they're playing Hearthstone a lot. The computer game or app game, digital game of collecting cards, and you know, the Blizzards fighting each other out in this Hearthstone matches. I played it a while when it came out, but I sort of didn't keep up with the whole meta game. But they do a podcast in Swedish. If you're from Sweden, if you understand Swedish and you're watching this and you like Hearthstone, check out Hearthstonepodden on Facebook. So really, really good stuff. And then also I want to mention that like 3 weeks ago I played something really out of the ordinary for me. I played a mega game. So I played Watch the Skies. A mega game is sort of the concept for how to play, and then there's a bunch of different scenarios you can play, different themes and so on. So Watch the Skies was all about sort of aliens coming to Earth, and what we had was like 60 people or something like that, and like 11 different nations, so 4 people in each of these nations. Like one of them were it's sort of like a live or a role-playing game. So one of them were like the president of that nation, and then you had the defense minister and the science guy, and then you had like the UN ambassador or foreign minister. And I was in the alien team, so I was an alien, and we were not attacking Earth. We were trying to restore balance to Earth and help the people out, basically. But they didn't understand that. They were attacking us. The way this works is basically we're like 60 people divided into a few different rooms at the LAR games. And we played 6 hours straight, or 7 hours, without any breaks. You can't have any breaks because then people could communicate in those breaks, and you want to keep everyone separated. So you have to negotiate through the proper channels, like the UN Council and all that. So much fun. Had really fun that day. It was really exhausted though, and it was really frustrating for a board gamer like me, a Eurogamer in base, to have that role-playing experience. Like, there's no set rules. Well, there's some set rules, but most of it is like, well, what do we want to do? And then we have to come up with, like, we came up with the idea that we wanted to build a base on the moon, and then we had to ask Control, which was leading the game, like, can we build a base on the moon? And then we have to get it, like, yeah, okay, you can do that. This is what you need to do to achieve that. And it was just so weird for me, not being used to role-playing games. I never played role-playing games. So this was really weird for me, but it was also really fun, and I think I'm going to like some other scenarios as well. I'm hearing some talks about maybe Game of Thrones will be a theme, and that sounds really fun, like backstabbing each other and all that. Yeah, so that's something I'm looking forward to in the next year here. I think they're gonna get that. So anyhow, I want to do a shout out to Gothenburg Mega Games. You can find them on Facebook as well. Just search for Gothenburg Mega Games. And really nice people as well that are organizing this and are spreading this around Sweden. And I think this is a thing that come from the UK, I think, but I think it's spreading around the world as well. So I think you can check that out if you're in the UK or in other parts of the world and so on. So that was the monthly update. Got quite long as well. I didn't plan for that, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoy these images and videos and stuff I'm trying to put up here, so that you don't just have to sit and watch me and Draco for the whole video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening or morning, or whenever you're watching this. Take care. Bye bye.
Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.